What's up guys, Macadamian here, and I'm here to give you my top 5 reasons why I think the Spurs will win the 2014 NBA Finals. Let's look at the matchup. Representing the East, we have the Miami Heat. Season record was 54-28, which was good for second in the East. They cruised through the playoffs, I think the easiest ever. The competition was very slim. They had to get through the Bobcats, then the Nets, then the Pacers, or what was left of the Pacers, I should say. And then in the West, we have the San Antonio Spurs with the best record in the NBA at 62-20. The season series was split 1-1, with both teams getting a victory, obviously. The margin of victory in the season series was 18 points, so you can't really take much out of that. Especially in the first game, there was about 4 players in the Spurs that didn't even play. And in the second game, it was in the middle of the Spurs, 18-game win streak, so they were beating everybody. But even this regular season series, I take nothing out of that because it was just 2 games and it was split 1-1. Without further ado, here are my top 5 reasons why I feel the Spurs will win the 2013-2014 NBA Championship. At number 5, rebounds. Out of all 16 teams in the playoffs, the Heat are ranked last in rebounds per game. That's not good. They are the worst rebounding team in the playoffs. And I know what some of you guys are going to say is, oh well, they beat 3 teams being the worst rebounding team. What's the big deal? Well, let's take a look at some of those teams they beat this playoffs. They have the Bobcats. They were ranked 12th in the playoffs in rebounds per game. Now, the Nets. They were ranked 15th out of the 16 teams in the playoffs in rebounds per game. And shockingly, the Pacers were ranked 12th. The Spurs are ranked 5th. I feel like the rebounding margin is going to be too big for the Heat to overcome. But we'll see. At number 4, point guard play. We all know point guard is the most important position in basketball. And if you don't know that, then you just don't know the modern NBA. But anyway, point guard play will be huge in this series because the Spurs have arguably the best point guard in the league, while the Heat have Mario Chalmers. Mario Chalmers is a good point guard, and I think people don't even give him enough credit. But Mario Chalmers, Tony Parker. So I think that'll play a huge factor in this series. Even though Parker is coming off an ankle injury, he'll be ready to go. He'll be fine. He has 4 days to recover. He'll be fine. He is probably, if not the best point guard, top 3 for sure. The road to the finals was completely different for both teams. You have the Heat, who practically cruised their way to the NBA Finals, where you have the Spurs, who actually had to fight for a position in the finals. The Heat, they faced the Bobcats. They beat them in 4. Was it even a question that they were going to win that series? The Nets. I'm a Nets fan, so that hurt. But even I knew the Nets were probably not going to win that series. I thought we had a good chance, but as you can see, we didn't. They took us out in 5 games. And then what was left of the Pacers? The Pacers, they've just been a shell of themselves. You can't even call them the best team in the East because of record, because they're really not. They finished the season 10-13 after going into All-Star break 40-12. That's just terrible. So it went to 6 games, but it didn't even feel like a 6-game series. The Spurs and Thunder series felt like a 6-game series. The Heat and Pacers series just seemed like the Heat were toying with them the whole time. So in the last 2 months, the Heat haven't really faced a competitive team. Maybe they're just going into the series relaxed. They went through the East like it was nothing. So why wouldn't they be so relaxed? As for the Spurs, they've been battling every series. Went to 7 games with the Mavericks and scared a lot of people. And the Blazers, even though it went to 5 games, the Blazers are a better team than the Nets, than the Bobcats, and the Pacers. So it was still harder for them to get past that series. And then the Thunder, it went to 6 games, and even in Game 6 it went into overtime. I don't think he had one overtime game this playoffs. No overtime games. My number 2 reason is because the Heat are just not as good as last year. I just don't feel like they're a better team than they were last year. First of all, Mike Miller's gone, who was huge for them in the last 2 finals appearances. Shane Battier, I forgot that he even played for the Heat. Where has he been? Ray Allen, even though he was pretty good the last series, he just, this whole season, he just hasn't been as good as he normally is. He shot 37% from 3, which is great if you're not Ray Allen. We're used to him shooting like 40 to 42% from 3. So I just don't think this Heat team is as good. And plus D Wade, I know people have been saying Dwayne Wade, his ankles or his knees, I should say, are going to give out. They haven't given out yet, but again, how far can he go? LeBron is LeBron, still the best player in the league, but I just don't feel like this Heat team is as good as last year's team, the team that beat the Spurs. The Spurs, I think, are way deeper this year. They have more 3-point shooting. They're just a deeper team, and I think that's going to pay dividends to this series. My number 1 reason is just revenge. I just don't see the Spurs letting this series go again. I just can't see it. Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time, in my opinion. Greg Popovich is the best coach in the NBA, in my opinion. I just can't see them allowing the Heat to win another championship by beating them. I just can't see it. Some people could see it. I can't. This series, I think it's going to go all the way to Game 7. I think the Spurs having home court advantage this year as opposed to last year is going to pay dividends as well. And I think they're going to take care of business this year, and I think they're going to take it in Game 7 at home. And Tim Duncan, who knows what he'll do after Game 7, but I think Tim Duncan is going to be Finals MVP. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I want to hear other people's opinions. Let's talk about it. I love sport of basketball, and I like to hear what other people have to say. So, comment, like, subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming soon, so catch you there.